Story 1: The Haunted Forest. In the heart of the dense, ancient forest, there lay a camping ground few dared to venture. Its dark reputation had spread through whispers and chilling tales passed down from generation to generation. The air hung heavy with the weight of an untold horror that seemed to seep from the very soil. Despite the ominous warnings, a group of friends, adventurous and unyielding, decided to embark on a camping trip to the haunted forest. The group consisted of 5 friends: Mark, the charismatic leader; Sarah, his daring girlfriend; Jake, the skeptic; Lisa, the nature enthusiast; and Alex, the quiet and observant one. Their tents were pitched on a small clearing surrounded by towering trees whose twisted branches seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers. The forest stood in eerie silence, as if holding its breath in anticipation. As night fell, the friends gathered around a crackling campfire. The flames danced with an unnatural intensity, casting eerie shadows on the trees. Mark, always the storyteller, decided to break the tension with a tale. Legend has it, he began, his voice low and mysterious, that this forest is haunted by the spirits of those who once lived here. They say that at night, you can hear whispers in the wind and see shadows moving between the trees. Jake rolled his eyes, dismissing the story as a mere fabrication to add excitement to their adventure. Lisa, however, felt a shiver crawl down her spine. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The group laughed off Mark's spooky story and continued their evening, roasting marshmallows and sharing jokes. Yet, as the night deepened, an unnatural stillness settled over the campsite. The forest seemed to close in, enveloping them in an oppressive darkness. Sarah was the first to notice it. "Did anyone else hear that?" she asked, her eyes wide. The friends fell silent, straining their ears. Faint whispers carried on the breeze, like ghostly murmurs that danced on the edge of perception. Alex, usually reserved, spoke up, "I hear it too. It's like the forest is trying to tell us something." A rustle in the bushes startled them, and they turned to see shadows flitting through the underbrush. Panic gripped the group as they searched the darkness for a source, but nothing revealed itself. Lisa clutched her camera, ready to capture any evidence of the supernatural. As the whispers intensified, a cold fog rolled in, obscuring their surroundings. Mark, the self-proclaimed fearless leader, felt a growing unease. "Maybe we should pack up and leave," he suggested, glancing nervously at the shifting shadows. But before they could react, the temperature plummeted, and the campfire flickered and died. The friends huddled together, their breath visible in the icy air. Suddenly, an otherworldly glow appeared between the trees. A pale figure emerged, its eyes gleaming with an ethereal light. Gasps escaped the group as they witnessed the apparition. It was a spectral figure, draped in tattered robes, floating inches above the ground. The forest seemed to bow in its presence, the trees bending as if acknowledging an ancient power. The friends stood frozen, their hearts pounding in their chests. The figure raised its hand, pointing towards the heart of the forest. The friends exchanged glances, unsure whether to follow the ghostly guide or flee from the unearthly encounter. Driven by an inexplicable force, they ventured into the depths of the haunted forest. The whispers grew louder, the shadows more menacing. The friends stumbled upon an ancient, overgrown path, hidden from sight for centuries. As they walked, the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. Mark, now visibly shaken, whispered, "We need to turn back. This isn't right." But it was too late. The forest seemed to come alive, the trees closing in behind them, blocking the way they came. Panic set in as the friends realized they were trapped in a labyrinth of ancient woods. As they pressed forward, the ghostly figure led them to an ancient tree, its bark gnarled and twisted. A dim light emanated from its roots, revealing a hidden entrance. The group exchanged uneasy glances but, compelled by an unseen force, entered the hollow opening. They found themselves in a cavern beneath the forest, a place untouched by the passage of time. Strange symbols adorned the walls, and an ancient altar stood at the center. The ghostly figure hovered above the altar, its form pulsating with an eerie energy. A voice echoed in the cavern, not spoken aloud but resonating in the minds of the friends. "You have been chosen to witness the truth that lies beneath the surface of this forest." As the words reverberated, memories long forgotten by the world surfaced in the minds of the friends. They saw the history of the haunted forest unfold before them, the rituals, the sacrifices, the binding of spirits to the land. The forest had absorbed the pain and anguish of centuries, and the friends were now entwined in its dark tale. The ghostly figure revealed itself as the spirit of a long-deceased shaman, cursed to guard the forest for eternity. It spoke of a balance disrupted by the intrusion of outsiders, a balance that could only be restored by unraveling the secrets hidden in the heart of the haunted forest. The friends, now bound by an ancient pact, had no choice but to fulfill their role in the forest's cursed history. Each of them was tasked with a trial that would test their resolve and reveal the darkness within. The shaman's voice echoed, "Only by confronting the shadows within yourselves can the forest find peace." The trials were nightmarish, pushing the friends to their limits. They faced illusions that preyed on their deepest fears and regrets. Betrayals, lost loves, and haunting memories played out in vivid detail. Each trial brought them closer to the core of the haunted forest's malevolence. As the friends struggled through their individual trials, they began to understand the dark connection between the forest's history and their own lives. The forest was a reflection of their collective psyche, a twisted mirror that forced them to confront the unresolved pain and guilt that haunted their pasts. Eventually, they found themselves back at the ancient tree, the ghostly shaman waiting. The cavern resonated with a melancholic hum as the shaman spoke. "You have faced your demons, but the forest's curse cannot be lifted unless you willingly embrace its darkness. Only then can the spirits find peace." The friends hesitated, their eyes meeting in silent communication. They knew that to break the cycle, they had to make a choice. With a mixture of fear and determination, they reached a collective decision. In unison, they uttered the words, "We embrace the darkness within." The cavern trembled, and the ancient tree pulsed with an otherworldly energy. The forest, no longer bound by the weight of its tortured history, seemed to exhale a sigh of relief. The ghostly shaman dissipated, leaving behind a sense of tranquility. The friends found themselves back in the campsite, the haunted forest now bathed in the soft light of dawn. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, replaced by a serene stillness. The once twisted trees stood tall and majestic, as if released from an ancient curse. As they packed up their belongings, the friends felt a newfound connection to the forest. The haunted whispers had transformed into gentle story to the abandoned campsite. The autumn wind whistled through the skeletal branches of the towering pines as four friends, Sam, Alex, Emily, and Jake, ventured deep into the heart of the Blackwood forest. They were in search of the fabled abandoned campsite, a place whispered about in local legends. According to the tales, a group of campers had vanished without a trace years ago, leaving their campsite untouched by the passage of time. The friends had heard the stories since childhood, and as they navigated the narrow, winding trail, anticipation mingled with a nervous energy. The dense canopy overhead cast eerie shadows, and the air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. After hours of hiking, they stumbled upon the overgrown entrance to the forgotten trail that led to the elusive campsite. The forest seemed to grow darker as they ventured deeper, and an unsettling silence settled around them. The friends exchanged uneasy glances but pressed on, their curiosity overcoming the sense of foreboding. As they approached the clearing, the air became charged with an unnatural stillness. The first sight of the campsite sent shivers down their spines. Tattered tents, weathered and torn, stood like ghosts of the past. A rusted campfire pit lay in the center, surrounded by cracked logs and moss-covered rocks. It was as if time had frozen the moment the last camper disappeared. Excitement and trepidation mingled as the friends explored the eerie remnants of the camp. Faded lanterns swung from twisted branches, and an old backpack lay forgotten near a collapsing tent. Sam picked up a dusty journal, its pages filled with the desperate entries of someone trapped in a nightmare. Day 1. We set up camp with high spirits, unaware of the looming darkness that haunts these woods. Strange sounds echo through the night, and shadows dance on the edge of the firelight. I fear we are not alone. Asterisk. The entries grew increasingly frantic, detailing mysterious occurrences and the campers' descent into paranoia. The last entry, hastily scrawled in trembling handwriting, spoke of a presence that watched from the shadows, unseen but palpable. As the friends absorbed the chilling account, a distant sound echoed through the trees, an ethereal whisper that seemed to call their names. A cold breeze rustled the pages of the journal, and the friends exchanged uneasy glances. Despite the unease settling in, They decided to set up camp for the night, their curiosity pushing them to unravel the mysteries that clung to the forsaken site. As darkness enveloped the forest, the friends gathered around the reconstructed campfire. The flames flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to dance to an otherworldly rhythm. The wind carried with it the faint whispers that echoed the journal's tales. "Emily, do you hear that?" Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Asterisk. Emily strained her ears, her senses heightened. The whispers grew clearer, a spectral chorus of disembodied voices murmuring forgotten secrets. Sam and Jake exchanged nervous glances, their expressions mirroring the unease that settled over the campsite. "It's just the wind, right?" Jake tried to reassure the group, but doubt lingered in his eyes. Asterisk. The friends huddled closer, seeking solace in each other's presence. As the night wore on, the whispers intensified, weaving a haunting melody that echoed through the trees. Shadows danced around them, and the air crackled with an energy that transcended the natural world. Around the extinguished campfire, the friends began to notice spectral figures moving in the periphery of their vision, faint silhouettes that seemed to materialize from the darkness. Panic clawed at their chests as the ghostly forms circled, their movements synchronized with the haunting whispers. "We need to leave," Emily urged, her voice trembling. "This place is cursed." Asterisk. But an invisible force seemed to bind them to the forsaken campsite. Each step toward the trail felt like an uphill battle against an unseen current. The whispers grew louder, morphing into anguished cries that echoed the despair of the lost campers. As they stumbled through the forest, the spectral figures closed in, their faces twisted in silent screams. The friends felt a cold grip on their shoulders, a presence that guided them deeper into the heart of the Blackwood forest. The once familiar trail transformed into an uncharted labyrinth, the trees closing in around them like skeletal fingers. The journal clutched in Sam's hand seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The entries, once static on the pages, now seemed to writhe and come to life. The desperate pleas of the lost campers echoed in their minds, merging with the haunting whispers that surrounded them. "They're trying to warn us," Alex muttered, his eyes wide with terror. Asterisk. The forest seemed to breathe, a living entity that observed their every move. Shadows elongated and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that slithered through the underbrush. The friends stumbled upon an ancient tree, its gnarled roots twisting into the ground like serpents. "This is where it happened," Jake gasped, recognizing the landmark from the journal. Asterisk. The whispers reached a fever pitch, a cacophony of sorrow and regret that seemed to seep into their very souls. The friends, now paralyzed with fear, witnessed the ghostly reenactment of the final moments of the lost campers, their desperate attempts to escape an unseen terror, the shadows closing in, and the forest swallowing them whole. In the ghostly tableau, the spectral figures turned toward the friends, their hollow eyes pleading for release. The air thickened with an oppressive energy as the friends found themselves at the epicenter of a supernatural vortex. The ancient tree groaned, its roots writhing and extending towards them like skeletal hands. "We need to break free," Emily shouted, her voice drowned by the chorus of the lost. Asterisk. With a surge of desperate strength, the friends tore themselves away from the haunted scene. The spectral figures, denied their release, wailed in anguish as the friends sprinted through the twisting maze of trees. The forest seemed to resist their escape, but the friends pressed on, driven by a primal instinct to survive. As they burst through the tree line, the forest's grip loosened. The whispers faded, and the spectral figures vanished into the shadows. Gasping for breath, the friends found themselves back on the familiar trail, the moon casting a pale glow on the now silent Blackwood forest. The campsite, once shrouded in an otherworldly aura, lay still and empty. The journal in Sam's hand had ceased its pulsating, the entries returning to their dormant state. The friends, shaken and exhausted, stumbled back towards the entrance, the memories of the haunting night etched into their minds. As they emerged from the Blackwood forest, the first light of dawn painted the horizon. The once menacing trees now stood as silent sentinels, their branches reaching for the sky. The friends, though physically free from the clutches of the forsaken campsite, carried the weight of the supernatural encounter with them. Years passed, and the friends seldom spoke of that fateful night. The abandoned campsite remained a dark secret, a place where the veil between the living and the lost was thin. The journal, tucked away in Sam's belongings, served as a reminder of the spectral chorus that Story 3: The Disappearing Lake. The air was thick with anticipation as four friends, Liam, Sarah, Jake, and Emily, ventured deep into the heart of Whispering Pines Forest. Their destination: the legendary Vanishing Lake, a place spoken of in hushed tones among the locals. The lake was said to appear and disappear at will, as if it were a portal to another realm. Despite the warnings, the group was drawn to the mystery that surrounded the ethereal body of water. The hike was arduous, the dense foliage casting eerie shadows as the friends pressed on. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the forest in a blanket of darkness. Guided only by the dim light of their flashlights, the group finally reached the edge of the Vanishing Lake. The moonlight shimmered on the still water, creating an otherworldly ambiance. As they set up camp, the friends shared nervous laughter, dismissing the local tales as mere superstition. Around the crackling campfire, they planned to spend the night by the mysterious lake, eager to witness its rumored vanishing act. As the night wore on, the air grew colder, and an unsettling silence enveloped the campsite. The lake, initially tranquil, began to stir. Strange ripples distorted the reflection of the moon, sending shivers down the spines of the onlookers. Liam, the adventurous spirit of the group, couldn't resist the urge to explore. With a flashlight in hand, he approached the water's edge. As his beam of light danced across the surface, he gasped. The lake seemed to be swallowing its own reflection, the water slowly disappearing into an unseen abyss. "Guys, you need to see this," Liam called out to the others. Intrigued, the friends gathered around the shrinking lake. They watched in awe as the water receded, revealing a hidden underwater landscape, a landscape that seemed almost alien. Strange rock formations and luminescent plants emerged from the depths, casting an eerie glow. "This is incredible. Maybe the legends are true," Jake exclaimed. As the group marveled at the unfolding spectacle, a distant, haunting melody filled the air. The friends exchanged puzzled glances. The ethereal music seemed to emanate from the heart of the lake, drawing them closer, its hypnotic notes weaving a spell around them. Against their better judgment, they waded into the shallows, captivated by the enchanting melody. The water, now ankle-deep, glowed with an otherworldly light. Sarah hesitated, a sense of foreboding tugging at her, but the others pressed on, lured by the mysterious allure of the Vanishing Lake. As they reached the center, the music reached a crescendo, and the lake's surface quivered. A blinding light enveloped them, and the world around them blurred. The friends felt a disorienting sensation, like being pulled through a vortex. Moments later, the light receded, and the once vanishing lake was now gone, leaving behind a desolate, unfamiliar landscape. Panic set in as the friends realized they were no longer in the Whispering Pines forest. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow on a barren landscape. No sign of their campsite, no trace of the lake, they were lost in an unknown realm. The haunting melody persisted, now distant and echoing through the unfamiliar terrain. A sense of isolation settled over the group as they frantically searched for answers. It became clear that the Vanishing Lake was no ordinary body of water, it was a gateway to a realm untouched by time. Days turned into nights as the friends traversed the strange land. Shadows moved in the periphery, and whispers echoed through the air. The once unified group began to fray, each member haunted by their own fears and doubts. Sarah, tormented by visions of the lake's disappearing act, became convinced that they were trapped in a nightmarish loop. Jake, driven by a desperate need to escape, pushed the group to keep moving forward. Liam, who once relished the thrill of adventure, now harbored a deep sense of guilt for leading his friends into this unknown realm. Emily, the quietest of the group, seemed strangely attuned to the mysterious landscape. She claimed to hear voices in the wind, guiding them toward an unseen destination. The others, desperate for hope, reluctantly followed Emily's lead. As they journeyed deeper into the unknown, the landscape transformed. Surreal creatures lurked in the shadows, and the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. The haunting melody persisted, evolving into a mournful tune that seemed to echo the collective sorrow of the realm. One by one, the friends faced their deepest fears manifested by the strange realm. Shadows took shape, mirroring their inner demons. Sarah was haunted by visions of drowning in the vanishing waters, Jake was pursued by unseen terrors, and Liam confronted the consequences of his impulsive actions. Amidst the chaos, Emily remained an enigma. Her connection to the realm became apparent when she revealed a hidden knowledge of the Vanishing Lake. She spoke of an ancient curse that bound the lake to the souls of those who dared to trespass its mystical waters. As the group neared the heart of the realm, they discovered a towering structure, an ethereal citadel surrounded by a shimmering barrier. The haunting melody emanated from within, drawing them closer. Emily, guided by an unseen force, led the way. Inside the citadel, a spectral figure awaited them. The guardian of the Vanishing Lake, an entity forged by the collective memories and fears of those who had been trapped before. It spoke through Emily, revealing the truth behind the curse. Long ago, a group much like theirs had stumbled upon the Vanishing Lake. Driven by curiosity, they, too, had been transported to this realm. The guardian, born from their collective experiences, existed to maintain the delicate balance between the realms. The only way to break the curse was to confront the echoes of their past and face the guardian's judgment. Each friend underwent a harrowing trial, reliving their deepest regrets and fears. Only by overcoming these trials could they free themselves from the clutches of the Vanishing Lake. As the friends faced their individual tribulations, the haunting melody transformed into a requiem, a mournful lament for the souls ensnared by the curse. The realm itself seemed to mourn the fate of those who had become lost within its borders. With each trial completed, the citadel's barrier weakened. The friends, battered and changed by their experiences, stood together as the final trial awaited. The guardian, its spectral form shifting between faces of those it had consumed, spoke of the choices that led them to this moment. In a climactic confrontation, the friends confronted the guardian with newfound strength and unity. They challenged the cycle of despair and reclaimed control over their destinies. As the guardian's form dissipated, the haunting melody faded into an ethereal silence. The friends found themselves standing at the edge of the Vanishing Lake once more. The moonlight reflected on the tranquil water, undisturbed by the mysterious vanishing act. The air felt lighter, and a sense of relief washed over them. The whispering pines forest welcomed them back, as if no time had passed. The friends, forever changed by their ordeal, looked at each other with a shared understanding. The Vanishing Lake, once a source of terror. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and turn on notifications if you enjoyed the video so you never miss an upload.